Good morning, everyone. I'm Sister Jenna, your host for our new America Meditating segment called Wise-ish. It's your power boost for the morning. It's for you to take your dose for your inner cure. Join us every day, Monday through Friday, from 8:30 a.m. to 8:45 ET. Don't forget, take your dose. See you soon.
Inner light. Taking just a minute, I relax my body and become aware of my inner light. I visualize each one of my thoughts weaving itself into this light. I draw from my heart the power of inner peace and the light of love. My thoughts are filled with compassion and forgiveness, patience and tolerance.
Om Shanti. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful meditation on inner light. I really liked it. So simple and so sweet. That was by our sister Genti of the Brahma Kumaris. She's the international head of the incredible spiritual community of the Brahma Kumaris. So I hope you're doing well and life is treating you kind. And even if it isn't, you are rising above it and finding things that you might have been missing and realizing that it was a gift in disguise, despite how it looks at the particular time. I want to basically jump up and say big thank you to the universe for the Supreme Court giving these permissions for DACA to continue and it not being blocked anymore. I am so thrilled. And you can only imagine the emotional release that so many are feeling right now. So congratulations to all of you for being so persistent and for maintaining your best wishes and your purest of feelings to see things through. Yes, it is quite a vicious system to be born in this country to parents that might be immigrants or are still struggling to get their papers together, and to be told you have to leave and to separate families. It's an old method of disempowering particular groups of people. But we're all wising up, aren't we? Each and every one of us, we're getting smarter and smarter and smarter. And for DACA, they're dreamers. You know, either you've come to the United States to dream or you were born here as a dreamer. What a great, great topic for tonight, to live out your dreams, where DACA now has the permission to stay in the country. All of those that are there, it's a time to celebrate. Because nothing and no one should take away our dreams. If it's anything that we have in our possession is the ability to dream, to think bigger than our current day reality. And there are times that there are certain wounds or experiences or situations or circumstances that don't support the dream, but we can't give up on the dream. I've seen that at some point in time they come true. It's either, there might be some feelings that I'm holding that will hold me back. I mean, Sister Geeta and I went for a wonderful walk today, and we had quite an interesting scene. Well, every day is an interesting scene on the Ponderosa. But we just went for a walk down the road, and there's a busy kind of a road, here. And I said, what do you think? Do you think we should just walk up the road on the other side? She goes, yeah, let's go. And she just ran across the street. There were no cars, but there were no cars where she ran across the street, but there were cars coming. So I was like, no, 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 run quick, go, go, go quick, go, come back, come back, come back, because the cars were coming on both sides. So she's just kind of walking and strolling, you know, like she has 9 lives. So she just walked over the other side and she goes, why don't you come? I go, Sister Gita, there are 100 cars. Just give me some time. Wait for the cars to pass. So I waited and I waited and I waited. And she goes, why don't you just tell them to stop? I go, listen, you have 9 lives. I might only have 5. Okay, so I just can't do it right now. And then I'm standing there, and there she is, you know, the queen, the prima donna, and she's across the street. So finally, on the southbound, the cars were there weren't any much cars. They were like at a distance, and then on the other side there were 2 cars coming. I know this seems elementary to you, but you had to be there. I mean, really. So there were other 2 cars coming, and she says, now you can come. And I was acting like the old lady. It's like, no, 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 I don't think I should go, because what if they're coming fast? She's looking at me, just come. And I was like trying to cross the street, and if you had seen me, I'd look like a 98-year-old woman that looked like she has not crossed the street in ages. And it was so thoughtful of that driver, who I gave so many blessings to just stop the car to let me go by, because it was taking me so long to make the decision. And there was Sister Gita just looking at me like, can't you cross the street? I don't think I remember how to cross the street. Oh, what dreams, maybe. You know, just another day on the Ponderosa. Anyway, I hope you found that humorous, because I certainly did. And I was wondering what made me so uncomfortable crossing the street. And Sister Gita, she just, like, they will stop. And I'm like, how do you know they're going to stop? But anyway, what did I learn from that scene? That when you are just blessed with innocence and purity, everything works for you. Everything works for you. Sister just crossed, went, come back, not a big deal, you know, so things like that. Today, Happy came back. She has a haircut. She looks like a completely different person. Happy, you want to come and say hello to everybody? She's quite upset because she's now lost all of her hair. And she's not really talking to anyone at this moment. She likes to look like a dreadlocks because she's half Jamaican, no? And Jamaicans are dreadlocks, you know. You know, Sister Gita is the Jamaican side to my Indian, so Happy has to inherit a little bit of that Rastafarian feel and the vibes, you know. And yes, and I've inherited a little bit, yeah. I'm a little Jamaican too, right? I'm a little Jamaican. Oh yes, bring Happy. Yeah, let me show Happy to everyone. Happy, come. So this is Happy's new haircut. Come say hi to everybody. Yay! So you see her new haircut? Yeah. She's quite upset. She's like, you've made me nude. And then what happened, Antonia bought her a little leotard. So she ran out of the car with this little pink leotard like, Mom, get this off of me right now. So it was so cute. Anyway, so that was our day today. And how was yours? Feel free to share it in the comments. And any realizations you had today, anything new has emerged from your beautiful being, your beautiful soul, that you said, wow, I'm getting there. There's development. I'm really growing and I'm getting closer to my dreams. 2 kinds of dreams where there's a science to the physical aspect of dreaming, and we go into the subconscious where that becomes more activated than the conscious, and experiences that we have felt tends to awaken at particular time based on the events of the day the vibrations that I felt during the day, and the way I went to sleep with what vibration triggers the deep impressions of the sanskar, or the deep subconscious areas of the soul. And when we're in dream state, it's like the soul is in the body, but at a very subtle conscious level, it's like detached from the body. So we call that the sleep stage. And you dream. Some dreams feel like they're very real. Some dreams feel like they're connected to something that's happening in your life currently. There's some that are signaling some sort of a deep-rooted fear or insecurity. And there's some that say caution. And there's some that say do this for sure. Make sure you get this done. This is going to be great for you. So that's like the physical and maybe a little bit scientific dimensions of dreaming. But now, let's look at when we wish to live out our dreams. Those thoughts and those feelings that are connected to a bigger picture than our current reality. Okay? And I'd like you to do this. Could you, by chance, if you don't have a piece of paper, just get a piece of paper now. I'm going to do a little exercise with you tonight. I'll give you a minute or so. And even if it's a scrap paper for now, or a Post-it, or feel free to put it on your iPhone notebook. I'd like you to write down 5 things that you have dreamt about in this lifetime. And I want you to really be very sincere. What are the 5 dreams that you've had so far? So I'll give you some time to write them down. Sister Geeta is writing hers. Santosh is writing his. What are the 5 things you've dreamt about? Living your dreams. Write them down. Now I'd like you to review them. And to what extent have you become close to fulfilling those dreams? Or have they already been fulfilled and you're ready to move on to another one? And check how you're feeling as you look at these dreams on paper. And what you think they must be connected to. Now, here's a very big part of the exercise. If you've not been able to fulfill 3 to 5 of those dreams, okay, let's say you've not fulfilled 3 or even 5 of those dreams. The question I want you to ask yourself tonight: what is holding you back? The second question: is something or someone distracting you? The third thing: do you not believe in your dream? So just ask that. So 1, what is holding you back? 2, is something or someone distracting you? And maybe Antoni or Santosh can type it in the comment field. And 3, do you not believe in your dream? I want tonight, whoever's watching and is viewing today's session, to come away with a feeling that you will fulfill one of those dreams this evening. The next day you're going to go into action. Because you wouldn't write down that dream if it wasn't important to you. But what's distracting you, or who is distracting you? Well, you have to check, is there a push and pull? Do you not believe in your dream? then why did you write it down? Is it an influence? Is it coming from comparison? Because your sister has this, you want to do better than your sister? Because your husband is this, or your wife is this, or your friend, or your next door neighbor? That's not the reason. You can't write a dream based on what other people have or have done. Your dreams are based on your innate gifts that are wishing to manifest, to rise, to become real. And remember the first question, what's holding you back? A dream comes out of a very deep and pure place within you. It sort of has this mystical connection to everything in you that's very grand in spiritual dynamics. And when you start to think of the dream, it's as if all of the strengths that you have are behind comprising that dream. That's why if you have a dream based on people, places, or thing because of someone, or I dream to be a millionaire, that's not the kind of dream I'm talking about. I'm talking about living your dream. Living your dream or your dreams. Living them. Not just trying to get a million. Living. You see, you've already gotten the millions. Now, are you living your dreams? So if you choose your dream to be, I need to be a million, that's not going to get it. It's more than that. You see? So when you're living the dream, you've already acquired it. So if you have written down 5 things on the paper that you've dreamt about, or you're dreaming about, or you have fulfilled up until now, then how do you nurture it? How are you serving it? How are you living that dream? Is someone or something distracting you? Or do you not believe in it if you haven't achieved it yet? Or is something holding you back? Sometimes people will say, well, I have kids. Wait until they go off to college. Then I will start my business. Or if you're distracted by someone or something, you might be in a toxic relationship and you're waiting for something to change in it, but it won't. You might be distracted by social media. You might be distracted that your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your relative is doing 10 times more better than you, and the feelings that you have of your insecurity is a distraction. Or do you deeply believe, I don't know if I'm worthy enough to get a dream like this or to even live it? Okay, so what I'd like us to do, and I hope you've kind of journeyed with me with these questions and thoughts and looked into it for yourself, because I think they're really important. I was remembering, Sister Gita, you'll remember, since I think the age of 17, 18, 19, I used to, every year I'd write down 10 things that I would accomplish by the end of the year. And by the end of the year, usually would get six at least to 7 max, that I would make sure I would focus my whole year on just fulfilling these particular items that I wrote in sacred thinking, that I feel I deserve to acquire these things. Now, back in those days, I wasn't spiritually as awake as I am, and I still have a long way to go to awaken even more. But in those days, my dreams and living my dreams were very material. So those were actually easy to accomplish. It's the inner work that took like a longer period of time to catch up and to fulfill. So anyway, what I'd like us to do tonight, and I think it's really, really important, is that I would like you to really take this time and clear out any negative vibrations that are coming from your own thoughts or the thoughts of others onto you. Now, you know I believe a lot in the mantra of Om. And I think it's a really beautiful mantra to clear out what's going on up here. So I thought to Santosh today, I'd like us to do that. In order for us to live out our dreams, we can't have a lot of obstacles. We can't have a lot of interference. We can't have a lot of holdbacks or pullbacks. So what if, just for tonight, we clear out the energy, clear out whatever that vibration is, whether it's anger, resentment, hate, disappointment, insecurity, where I might not believe in someone, or so I don't believe in myself, whether I'm blaming people and I'm putting the living my dream on pause because I'm spending time with people who don't even matter to me, or I want to be liked by people, or I want to be honored by people. All of these things is a waste of your energy to be able to develop your dreams. When I was walking with Sister Gita today, and I said, I recognized that there was something that I was working on. And I said, I didn't know that was in me. And I just recognized it. And I said, I just can't believe that that energy was sitting in me, Sister Gita. It's like it blindsided me. And as I was able to recognize it, there was a release. There was a release. And I felt this optimization of like I could do 10 times more now. But I had not known that it was also weighting me down, whether it was emotional, spiritual, but then physically it starts to weigh you down. You see? So you want to clear out a lot of this energy of thinking and vibrations that we've been traveling with as souls for a long time. The soul is carrying its karmas. And inside of the soul are the sanskaras that have been shaped by those karmas, by those actions. So of course Western psychology will call it your subconscious. In the East, in India, we'll say it's your sanskaras. And when the soul leaves the body, the soul takes these sanskaras with them. So there are times that we are having these dreams and we want to live our dreams. And we want to live a life that is fulfilled of our dreams. But there's something, there's an energy, it almost feels invisible. We can't put our hand on it, but we don't feel like it's a complete flow. It's still a struggle. It's still laborious. It doesn't feel light. It doesn't feel easy. That's because there is some interpretation you're having. You're getting distracted. Or there is something else that's holding you back, which could be really, really deep-rooted. You might blame it on your husband or your kids have to go to college, but it could be even deeper than that, from some past life. So let's say now, tonight, we want to clear that out. Are we all up for that? Everybody want to clear out any negative vibrations that might be swirling around you, whether it's in your body, whether it's in your mind, whether it's in a relationship outside of you, whether it's around your house, whether it's in the country. Ugh, that's a big one, no? Whatever's happening on at a country level, it's really impacting a lot of us. So I want you to really use this energy to clear this out now. Okay? So ready? Call the family. This is meditation time. A family that meditates together stays together. All right. So I want you now to really make your place really comfortable, wherever you are, because this is going to be a good 10 minutes of chanting of Om. So wherever you are in your home or in your apartment or sitting somewhere in a park, or if you're even on your bike, you can still chant Om while you're riding and listening. And I want you to sit in that yogi position as a lotus position. If you can, fold your legs folded. If you can, just sit with your both feet on the ground and your hands in either at the side of your body, or you can hold it like this on your lap. Okay? But make sure you physically feel comfortable so that you can mentally feel comfortable. And I'd like you to look over your 5 points for dreaming. I'd like you to read over, look that over. What are those 5 things that you wrote down tonight? If you did. This is important for us, you know, because we will always look back at our lives and sense, did I fulfill my call? So what are your dreams? Read them over. Take a deep breath in and out. Read each one over very, very slow. Put some love in them and visualize them emerging. And now as you sit up and relax, I want you at home or wherever you are to literally chant Om. And of course, if you feel like just resting your mouth and listening to the mantra on your own, you can also do that. So ready? You ready to have a wonderful journey for the next 10 minutes? All right. So this is to clear everything out, okay? Come on, we've got to be able to fulfill our dreams and live them. Okay, no more excuses for ourselves. No more excuses for our lives. What is getting in my way? Do I really doubt myself? Do I not believe I'm worthy of this? Is there something or someone distracting me? Why am I allowing that? Ready? Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Take your time. Take your time very gently, and I'd like you to now look over your dreams once again. And observe the energy that you are feeling as you reread your dreams. Can you feel like there's a clarity that has just happened? I'm feeling it. That there is a clarity that just happened. Things were just cleared out a little. Right? So the living of the dream is where we've accomplished already those 5 things. And we not only honor them and value them and recognize the sacredness from which they came from, but then now we become aware of how our thoughts and our words and our attitude in celebrating the dreams are vital in sustaining them. And many times we take for granted the beautiful manifestations of our sacred thoughts, and we take them for granted, and we no longer serve them with the right energy, the right attitude, the right thoughts, the right vibrations. We are either distracted, we get caught up with people, we get caught up with our karmas, and we miss that sight of, wow, this is something that came from a place in me that was so deep when I thought of it. It was coming from a place very, very deep. So, take a deep breath and exhale. How's everyone feeling? Please feel free to put it in the comments field. Does anyone have any questions? Is anyone going through anything? Because the whole thing is about living it, living your dreams, living. So what we covered today was even just trying to acquire the dreams. But the next stage of living it is, do you continue to maintain the sacredness of sustaining it? You know, because the more you sustain these dreams, which I deeply believe are just so sacred, then the bigger other dreams start to emerge, like other things start to find you. And you start to feel that there's so much more because all the dots are connecting equally or balanced wise, and they're making sense to you. You're not all over the place trying to find your dream to get fulfilled. You're pretty straightforward. You're pretty focused. What was it, the discussion? Was a discussion yesterday on focus or the day before? I think it was on the, no, it was yesterday, I think, was on focus. So it's so important to be able to maintain your focus in your thought process and commit to it. If while you're looking at certain situations in which you go, I will never be able to get this dream, then with that thought and attitude, it won't happen, right? So you have to always remember the thoughts that you have develop your life. The thoughts that you have, the thoughts that you create, develop your life. It makes your life into what it is today. So stop thinking about people. Stop worrying about people. Stop expecting people to change. All of those thoughts are getting in your way to fulfilling your dream. All right. So Zora, hi, good evening, and Om Shanti. You're asking what happens if you do not have dreams. Are you talking about dreams for life or dreams when you're sleeping? Because there are two different factors here. I spoke about both. But if it's physical, when you're sleeping, everybody dreams. It's just that some individuals are not able to be cognitive of remembering what were those subtle mystical messages or visions that they got in their dream. In terms of if in your life you are saying, I don't have any dreams, it's just I'm fine, maybe you could be designed that way, that maybe you live your life on faith and you live your life very much in the present, and things are to some extent okay for you. Financially, I found that sometimes for individuals who have financial comfort, maybe they're in a marriage and they know it's not going anywhere, their kids might be grown, or life just seems a little bit kind of easy, then there's no force, there's no pain that's pushing them to want something different. And that's one of the interesting thing about pain. Pain signals you so much which you couldn't do when you're living in a comfort zone. So if you're not able to acquire or develop any dreams, I might find it a little bit difficult to accept, because everybody wishes for something. And I think if you if you dig a little deeper, you might be able to find there might be some repressed energy. Something might be holding you back that you don't even feel that you earn the fortune or the will to dream. So I just ask you to play the Om again, sit, and just ask the self, if I were to create any dreams for my future, what would it be? And wait. That's the best and simplest advice I can offer you, Zora. All right, so it's dreams for sleep. Yeah, so I gave you that answer then. You do dream, you just don't remember. It's a scientific proven thing. Everybody dreams, but it depends on the subconscious or the conscious being awakened or alert when you awake. If it is, maybe one night, if you want to, try to see if you are able to dream. Keep a notebook by your bed, and when you go to bed and you say your best wishes and do your progress report about how your day went, and you talk to God and you fall asleep, just say, God, I want to dream about you tonight. And then you fall asleep like that. Tell me how that goes. It'll be very powerful. Okay. All right. Wonderful, Nikhil Kumar Joshi. Welcome. December's magical. My mentor is leaving the company. While I'm happy for her, I also feel I no longer have my stronghold. The feelings of insecurity are trickling in because they created such a great impact in my life. Beautiful, beautiful thought. December's magical. I think what is happening is that you're given an opportunity to actually stand on your own 2 feet, and it'll be another level of dreaming for you. I think that maybe when you were taking a lot of the support from your mentor in the company, you weren't really showing as much as you could. So I feel actually this is going to be a great opportunity for you actually. So the minute I wrote it, the minute I read it, I felt that. So keep me updated on that. I think that's really, really going to be a powerful time for you. So Sukwin, Om Shanti. I try to chant Om twice a day, morning and night before bed. Nice. How does it feel? I'm sure it feels great. Okay, anyone else has any thoughts they want to share? Manifesting, Rachel. Hi. Hi, Rachel. I love your question. How long will it take for me to manifest my dreams? It has a lot to do with how consistent the specific thought is connected to your dream. 1. Second, how pure is the motive behind the consistency of that one thought. That will determine how fast it will manifest. So the more there's the intent, the purity of the intent, the consistency of the thought form, it manifests pretty fast. But when there's interruption and you get feelings, and every time you get angry, every time you get afraid, every time you doubt, every time you gossip and get caught up in other people's affairs and distract yourself from your whole purpose and start to get just distracted by stuff that has nothing to do with your ultimate living, your dreams, then what happens, it takes a little bit longer. That's all. But always remember, every thought and every sacred thought, imagine it as your prayer, that it has to emerge. It has to emerge. Okay, was that okay? What's happening with you today? You're missing Global Corporation House. Well, now you have us here. And don't worry about your misspellings. I do it all the time when my glasses are off. You know, you're going to have days like this, you know it. And I don't know if you're alone at home or if you have roommates or someone. But sometimes when you're having those little bit of a hard days, they're asking you to, I bet when you're going in, you bump into maybe a sadness. But beyond the sadness is also you, the real you that's trying to come out. But the hardship of the day or the sadness of the day or just a feeling out of alignment with yourself for the day, that's actually trying to help you to go into where your power base is. So we get tested and challenged all the time because the nature of the soul is power. And what I love about Raja Yoga meditation is that it offers you all these powers that we need to keep using, but sometimes we just don't. So to find that power base, using the hardship, like what singers do, when they're going through a real sad moment, they say, put all of those emotions in the music. And what do you get? A hit. Okay, yes, 10 million people feel the same sorrow you sung the song with, but the fact is that you bring out the emotions that if you just keep it to yourself and bottle it up, it hurts you. So how can you use that pain or that hardship or that emotion to develop a narrative in you that can take you to another level? So think like that and go inside, behind your eyes. Remember, the soul is more powerful than the event or the situation. Go inside, connect to the soul. Remember, God, the Supreme Soul, is available as an energy, consistently there to bestow power on you. Go inside, behind your eyes, and accept that I've made choices and my karmas will set me free, and that I have credit, and that I'm going to be okay. So having that energy of conversation, eventually it keeps you going. But, don't be hard on yourself when some days are rough. They can be blessings in disguise. All right? Be gentle on yourself, okay? Don't be too harsh. All right, Asmita. Hello, Asmita. Oh, okay, you retracted the message. Okay, no problem. Facebook? Okay. My glasses. Anyone on Facebook has any questions they'd like to ask? Anyone has any comments? Welcome, Sajita from Auckland. Lovely to have you. Gabrielia, Donaldi, nice to have you too. Vashti, Om Shanti. Sudha, nice to have you. Sunita, Om Shanti. And hey, Ashley, how are you doing? Nice to always have you on air. Enid, a pleasure. My wonderful family from Hollywood, Florida. Always nice to connect with you. You guys are a treat. I have to tell you all, if anyone is in Hollywood, Florida, they have a Facebook Live that they also do with Sister Etta. And these are some of the most strongest women I've met. I think most of you, Enid, are over 70. So just about everyone in this particular group is over 70. And they are moving things like you would not believe. They are living their dreams because they're not allowing their age or what their body is going through to hold them back. They're living their dreams because they want to serve and they want to enjoy and they want to be with each other. They're living their dreams. They're acting on it. All right. Any other thoughts before we close off our meditation? Anyone? Anything at all? Is everybody okay? Thumbs up? Everyone's happy? Everything is TK? TK? All right. All right. So let's close off the night, shall we? Marissa, thank you. So glad that this touched your heart. All right, beautiful. Nice to hear. So I'm not quite sure if there are any more questions, but Praveen, nice to have you. Thank you very much for this wonderful vaccine. Today's vaccine was excellent. Thanks to Sister Geeta, Sister Antonia, Brother Santosh. Hey, Praveen Bhai, you forgot happy. All right, good. There's one here. Okay, so hands up. Love you too, Ashley. Hey, Ashley. Santosh has this wonderful way of, whenever Antonia comes by or Happy is being naughty, he has this cute way of saying, "Hey, Antonia." And then he'll say to Happy, "Hey, Happy." And we just all started to say it on our, "Hey." So, "Hey, Ashley." So it's a form of affection. It really is. "Hey, Jennifer Scotland. Nice to have you." So, Rachel, you're so welcome. How do you check your purity of intent? Beautiful question. It has to flow. There isn't a tug of war. How you check your purity of intent? There is no tug of war. You have the thought, you do it, and it just supports you. It just goes. When you're like, well, let me sort this out. Let me think. Maybe I should. No, maybe I should do it. No, I shouldn't do it. That's a mixture. Means it's not completely pure. Which means there could be some difficulties, there could be some challenges, maybe some obstacles. Doesn't mean you won't get it, but it could be a little bit sometimes challenging. That's all. So check immediately check the energy of the feeling. If you're going back and forth with it, then the purity is less. If it's just very clear, you're spot on. Just go for it. And remember, life is a practice. So the more you practice, the more you build and develop experience. So don't ever be so hard on yourself that you give up the practice. Okay, and go back to sleep and just stop doing the work. Keep doing it. Keep practicing. And let's see what happens. All right? Okay. All right, so Om Shanti, everybody. Good night, Asmita. Good night, Christina. Good night, Miracle Baby. Good night, Asmita. Good night, Wendy Cummins. Good night, Rachel. All right, everyone, take care. Shobha, nice to see you. Good night, Marissa. Good night, everyone. Om Shanti. Thank you for joining us tonight again, and hopefully tomorrow we'll see you and we'll enjoy our little family time together. And maybe tomorrow I'll have Sister Geeta dance. Every little cell in her body is happy. Let's see, it's going to be Friday, so it could be Happy Friday, Grateful Friday. Sister Geeta, you'll dance every little cell in your body is happy tomorrow? Oh, she's like, oh yeah, I'll do it now. Anyway, good night. And Santosh, are we going to end with Om again tonight? With the chanting or no? Something else? No, so Be Who You're Born to Be? Yes. So this song is especially from Lucinda Drayton, Bliss. You can Google her. She has beautiful music. And this one's entitled Be Who You Were Born to Be. So this is for all of you out there who want to really live your dreams and let no one or nothing hold you back from making that reality come true for you. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for joining us. Lots of love and Om Shanti. See you tomorrow.
No more time to waste, no more excuses. Gotta reach out your arms and embrace the sun. No more time for self-pitying abuses. Gotta stand up and shout and say, I am the one. 'Cause there's been too much crying and talk of being free. Gotta jump off that cliff and be who you were born to be. No more time to waste on photos of the past. There's a star with your name on it and a love that's gonna last. 'Cause there's been too much holding on and talk of being free. Gotta take it all with you and be who you were born to be. Da 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 da. is melting, all the ships are going home, and the wind is getting colder, and we feel more and more alone. So stop all your excuses, got the answers all.